Well, that was wild. So Malignant is a new horror film brought to us by James Wan. In Malignant, we follow a character named Madison, played by Annabelle Wallis, who is having these very, very grim visions, but she soon discovers that these very grim visions are actually happening in front of her own eyes. Alrighty guys, so let's get into Malignant.
Excellent!
Malignant was a movie that I didn't know all that much about, minus that it was a horror film made by James Wan. That's it. I did see some footage at CinemaCon, and the footage that I did see, it looked fun, it looked creative. Knowing that it was an original film brought to us by James Wan, I just thought this could be something very special. I saw the film, and I'm happy to say that I quite enjoyed this movie. Annabelle Wallis, I thought was very, very good. This was by far the best I've seen her. She does convey some good drama in some aspects of it, and she does have some pretty nice scared shitless faces. There's a particular actress in this movie who I didn't even know was in this movie, and when I saw them I just went, she's in this? Okay, let's see. This is awesome! And I thought she was great, and I wish she was in this movie a whole lot more. The story and how it develops, I will say this much. This is gonna be kind of hard because the story of this movie has been kept a lot under wraps. And if you haven't seen the trailers, don't worry, it doesn't give that much away. But I will say that there are some cool revelations in the film's story. I'll get into a couple of them later on. Two big things I will say that happened in Malignant that I thought were rather cool. James Wan directs the shit out of Malignant. From how James Wan moves the camera to how he composes shots, how he stages certain sequences, how he ramps up the tension. This is James Wan, him going full throttle and going way out there. I mean, this is a very ambitious movie for James Wan, and I gotta hand it to him for going far out in terms of his vision for this particular project. James Wan does a great job of ramping up the tension with some very suspenseful sequences, and there are some really innovative ways into how he sets up certain sequences, especially knowing the things that this girl is going through. I love the way how he moves things around, especially this shot. I remember when I saw this at CinemaCon, I just went, whoa, okay, that is really freaking cool. I want to analyze this movie based on that one shot alone. Malignant, more than anything, is a very stylish film, and one can argue, and I can totally see this too, of Malignant being a case of style over substance. In this movie's case, I do think that for the most part, the movie does do style over substance quite well. But visually, this movie reminded me a lot of Dead Silence in a good way. The score of this movie was also very, very good. One more thing that I have to talk about, and you have heard everybody talk about this, and I have to talk about this because this part was absolutely insane. The third act of this movie, it's bonkers. The fact that James Wan made a third act like this, I can't believe he made the third act this wild. I mean, when you guys see the third act, there's a particular sequence in the third act where I just went, holy shit. There is a fight sequence in this movie. It is gory as can be, and it is enjoyable as all hell.
Well, that's just fucking great!
There are a couple of people that I know that were throwing around a couple of words. Like, for example, some people I know were saying that this was a game changer for horror films, and there was someone else that I know, or someone that I have read about, I should say, that was saying that the main villain in this movie is a new horror icon. Do I agree with either one of these things? No. Besides Annabelle Wallis and the surprise of this movie, who I wasn't expecting, the acting in this movie is pretty darn bad. To take a little bit of that back, I will say this much. This movie is intended to be a more campy horror flick, and I get that entirely. But there were even times where the campiness just did not work for me. Two performances in this movie that every time I heard them speak, I just could not take them seriously. There was this cop as well that I just went, are you even trying? From the opening sequence, the acting starts off pretty campy. I mean, it's the point where I just thought, okay, so this is the movie we're going into. Let's see what happens. I can't deny I had fun with this movie. But even then, there are some performances that were just so bad where I just couldn't help but laugh. And also, The storyline. There is one particular scene in this movie. I won't spoil. There is a scene in this movie where a big bombshell is dropped just out of nowhere. And it's supposed to be treated as this big revelation. And I just went, oh, okay. That just came out of nowhere. It was just thrown out there. And it's like as if it's just supposed to be this big revelation. And it just, there it is, it's out there. Remember when I mentioned earlier that there was a couple of big things? There were two other big things I called out at least 20 to 30 minutes into this movie. The moment that the big shot came in, I just went, well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Going back to the campiness once again, it just goes a little too much into that way, to the point where your mileage, I feel like, with the campiness is going to vary, I feel like. Do I think that Malignant is a particularly scary movie? No. There were a few sequences where the suspense is definitely up there, but nothing about this film made me go like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
And here we go.
So overall, Malignant is a wild ride, but it is also bonkers as hell. Malignant is as if James Wan had made a 90s Italian horror film from the modern age. I feel like your mileage will vary. You're either going to really enjoy this film, or you're gonna think this movie is really stupid. It's not a particularly great film, but I did have a fun time with this movie. All in all, I'm gonna give Malignant a 3 out of 5 stars. Your mileage will vary, but for me personally, I did enjoy this movie. So comment down below and let me know, what did you all think of Malignant? Did you like the movie, or did you think it was really stupid? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat, so if y'all want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links in the usernames are in the description below. I hope you all enjoyed my review of Malignant. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for whenever the latest video of mine goes live. If you guys want to see any of my previous 2 videos, please click on the right there or there. And of course, until my next video or review, I will see you all next time.